I don't believe it. That's Clone Force 99.
This is Wrecker, Hunter, Echo, Tech, and Crosshair.
Obviously, we are different.
We're all you're getting.
Ha! We're all you need!
They call themselves the Bad Batch. Experimental Unit Clone Force 99. The defective clones with desirable mutations.
This is one meeting I don't want to miss.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a special spooky edition of the Dad Batch Podcast, episode 13. My name is Steven Schultz, and I am your ghost in the pilot seat today. And you know I can't do it alone. With us, as always, the other Dad Batchers, your Space Daddies. First up, he's a traveling trooper, and he's made a lot of stops all over the world. It's Joe Lara. How are you, buddy?
Doing. Is this isn't going to work, is it?
Keep going, Joe. It's all right.
Is it fine?
Yeah, you're good.
It's fine for now.
For now.
Tell me when it's annoying.
It's annoying.
No.
That was short-lived.
Why didn't you write your post?
Hey, we tried. Yeah, doing well. Got back from New York City late Sunday night, and it was a good trip. Yeah, had a good time.
I don't know why. It just feels good to have you back in California.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I tell you what, though, my son's apartment, like I could extend my arms and I'm touching both walls. It's like super tiny, but yeah, it's kind of nice to be home.
Right on.
I forgot we were on the same coast for a little bit. I could have been texting you at early morning, even though you answered.
Oh yeah, well I'm up. I'm up in the morning anyway. But yeah. What was that, Steven?
How was the flight?
It was actually pretty good. Like there's no delays, no nothing. We took a train when we went from Boston to New York City. That was fun. Like 4 hours, better than getting on a plane, going through TSA and all that hectic stuff. But
right.
Yeah, good trip. I ran out of Sour Patch. I didn't plan well.
Oh man.
I thought I had an extra box, and I'm like a rookie. Rookie mistake, but
all right. Yeah. Well, I gotta ask you. So in order to replenish your Sour Patch, well, I know you have reserves at home, but obviously, for trick or treating, what are your plans for Halloween? This coming up.
So we're gonna hand out candy at our house for about a couple of hours, because we know we've already done this several years, and we know there's a really tiny, short population, like tiny people coming in at a certain time before the sun goes down. Yeah, little ones, and then right when the bigger kids come out, we're gonna close our door and go to a friend's house for a party. So
nice.
That's the plans. Yeah, that's the plans.
Right on, man. Well, like I said, it's good to have you back in Cali.
Thank you.
Welcome. When there's something strange in your neighborhood, who are you gonna call? Raimi Shanaday.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, man. How are you? That's an awesome Ghostbusters outfit.
I'm good, thank you. I got some tips from a good friend of mine who had done this before me, so I'm trying to keep up with him. Got the goggles. Oh no, and wait, I gotta hang on. I gotta turn something on. Oh shucks! All right, here it is. So here we go. You guys listening?
Oh, he's powered up.
It's still going. It's still going.
That is
a nuclear particle accelerator. Nice.
Yeah, I've got an untested nuclear particle accelerator sitting on my coffee table. That's so good.
Do you have a license for it? Is it unlicensed?
Heck no. That's how we roll.
What's up, man? How was your week?
I'm doing good. I been trooping a lot. I guess it's still trooping. So I took BB8 out over the weekend. Had an opportunity to take him to an event. I'd done the event last year, and I
they wanted BB8 and they also wanted the Mandalorian, and I couldn't do both at the same time. So last year they got the Mandalorian, and this year they got BB8. And it's always fun to bring him out when there's a good Rey there as well, because what happens is like BB8 makes noises and he talks, but nobody knows what he's saying. And it's like in the original films, R2-D2 made noises. Nobody knew what he was saying unless C-3PO said what he said. So really C-3PO was talking for both of them. And having a Rey with BB8, it's the same thing. She can I can make him talk and that, and she'll basically have a conversation with some little kid saying what he's saying. And it's great when you've got one that's kind of quick and she can kind of make stuff up on the fly. So, and she did great. It was awesome.
Right on. Did she do the accent?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and she had done that event before, and the host was even like, I hope it's the same one that was here before. I said, yes, of course. So,
okay. So what do you guys have any plans for Halloween?
For us, where we live, I don't even know what trick-or-treating's like around here. There are some houses that have done a lot of decorating. So we'll probably go by them and see what's going on. I'll probably be wearing this just so I have a chance to wear it. The kids all have costumes put together.
In case you come across any ghosts too, some ghosts might come out.
Well, or
never
elk.
know.
So
yeah.
Ghost elk.
Exactly.
Set on the elk.
Do you really want to taste it? Okay, you can, but it might taste like chrome. It's John Rodriguez.
Hey,
you gonna dance, John?
I was like, where's it going with that? No.
How are you, John?
I'm good. I'm good.
Oh gosh,
What?
did you see the video? Did you see last week's video?
I did. So many goods.
So many goods.
Oh right. Well, I'm
Good.
only at 2 so far,
good.
so I'll stop there.
Well,
You're
I'm
like at
counting
6.
them.
I had a good week. Oh,
There's 3.
Pretty good.
I also trooped over the weekend on Sunday.
that's right. Yeah.
Was it a good trip?
Walk across. Yeah, it was fun. There were only a few of us. It was like 2 Mandos, one and 1 501st and 1 Rebel Legion. So it was just 4 of us. But everyone was stoked. Yeah, I got to wear my Mando. I don't wear them too often to troops, but the host kept saying, "The Mandalorian is here." Like come say hi to the Mandalorian. I'm like, it's just a custom. Like it's not, it's not him.
You're like, the name is Breck.
Accept it.
It's you're either Boba Fett or the Mandalorian now. It doesn't even matter,
dude. Yeah,
Or
so,
Stormtrooper.
Yeah.
So far, I've been called the Mandalorian. So I'm like, okay, but if he stands next to me, I won't be anymore.
Every TIE pilot, a gunner, they're all Darth Vader.
Right. Right. It's I got pushed into that group, into that Mando generic category, but super fun. I love doing the Alzheimer's troops because my stepdad suffered from Alzheimer's. So, yeah. Anyway, and the rest of my week was good. The kid's been a little sick, so she's been home all week, which has not let me really work much on stuff that I need to work on. But I did get a couple things done that I will talk to you guys about during the workshop. So everything's good.
Is she going to be better by Halloween? Do you think?
I think so. Yeah, she got sick on Sunday, so she got a little worse, and now she's on the up and up. So I think she'll be okay by Monday. She has a little Halloween parade at school where they like come in their costumes and sort of walk around and stuff, and the parents can be there. So I think I'm
okay. So is she still doing Heavy Metal Witch?
Metallica, right? Metallica shirt or something like that.
The Metallica Witch, right?
Yeah. Well, now she wants to wear her mini dress, her Minnie Mouse dress, for the parade. I don't know what she wants to do for actual Halloween, but
that's a Brian influence. That's from the box that you got.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. We asked her, "What do you want to wear for the little parade?" And she's like, "My mini dress." Okay, we'll do mini dress.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah.
Right on, man. Cute. And finally, he's the man without fear and without eyesight. It's Daredevil, Brian Cook. How are you, buddy?
I am
We're over here,
fantastic. Where?
It's BC.
I haven't been able to see
into
all
the
day.
camera.
It's been quite inconvenient, I must say. but I'm good. Everything's red.
So in character.
It's awesome. Just been out fighting crime. This is the Daredevil.
No
Daredevil.
That is one
Netflix
thing I will.
Daredevil.
You know what? That is one thing that I will give you, Brian. No matter what costume you're wearing, you are always in character.
I try. I mean, that kind of makes it, right? Like, even if you have a half a outfit, the character can bring it out. You know what I mean?
Totally.
But yeah, I'm good. I'm actually enjoying a nice cold beverage that's called the Gozerian, which is nice. It's a local brewery here in North Carolina in honor of Raimi the Ghostbuster.
Right on.
Other than that, I'm fine. My father has been in town, or he was in town from Thursday to Tuesday. He just left yesterday.
Papa Cook?
Yep, Papa Cook was here. I stole the sweatshirt right off his back because I think I said before he used to renovate World War II aircraft, and he would like pit crew for like the Reno Air Races, which is like an air show in Reno, Nevada, that is made up of vintage World War II type like fighter airplanes. And he's pit crewed for numerous different planes, and he had a really cool sweatshirt on. He's like, well, this is brand new. It was for this plane that I didn't even get to crew for because something happened, whatever. But he was like, here you go, take it. I was like, yes. Cool. So that was good, hanging out with him. So not going to have much else to report on because I've just been in full family mode. I'm about to get super busy with work. So
good, man. Busy is good.
Yeah. Just, taking on lawsuits and all kinds of stuff like that. So,
what? Like as Daredevil?
He's the Daredevil.
Yeah, I got work to do.
I'm sorry. I'm slow, dude.
Yeah, he's in character. Yeah.
Oh,
slow.
Okay.
Oh, saw Black Adam. That was pretty cool. So that was not bad.
Yeah, I liked it,
dude. Okay, so I saw Black Adam also. I think we all agreed that it was pretty good, right?
It was. So I'll say this, living out here. So we used to go to like the fancy movie theater back in California with like the recliner seats and everything. And it was like, upwards of 20 something bucks per person. Out here, the same thing. It was $20 for Tori and I. So it was worth the money we paid for it, for sure. It was good. I thought it was a little better than some of the other stuff
deserves all the
come out lately. No,
I don't think it deserves all the flack that it's been getting.
No. Like, it hasn't been getting flack. See, I don't read that. I don't read that stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Don't like it.
I saw an article that said that not even The Rock could save the DC universe or something.
I mean, The Rock says it's the greatest movie of all time, but that's The Rock.
Imagine Brian writing an article about DC movies. That's what you read. It's just some guy that doesn't like it.
Well, we've got something in the news coming up later that might be an interesting twist to the DC universe. So we'll talk about that then.
Well, let's get into it, guys.
It was entertaining.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. If you'd like to interact with us more, it all starts at thedadbatch.com.
This garbage is nothing like clone armor.
Looks a little tight on you, old man.
Yeah, at least I know how to wear it.
That's right, everybody. It's time for the weekly workbench. All right, guys, who is working on what?
So one thing I forgot to mention at the top of the show. So I am going to be speaking at the Central Coast Entertainment Expo, which is it's up at the Clark Center of the Performing Arts in Arroyo Grande, California. So I'm speaking on Saturday, November 5th. This whole thing, and my time is at 3:00 p.m. My panel's Building Fandoms and Followers. The whole show is geared towards like film students. I mean, there's a screenwriting workshop, practical effects demos, camera and lighting demos. So, and they've got some film screenings as well as some different talks and stuff. So you can learn how to do auditions and improving your auditioning skills. So it looks like this is an interesting event. So I'm looking forward to that.
What kind of commitment is that? Like, it's an all-day event type thing for you?
The event's all day, and it's far enough away. I'm just going to go make a day out of it. Nice. I'll check out hopefully some of the other panels and things like that. So
that's awesome, dude. That you're getting pulled in for something like that. You're like a great
and so I'll be I'm actually officially representing both the 501st Legion and also the podcast for that. So that's cool. So
first public appearance.
Yeah. So I'll have to start teasing the live show at Celebration London.
Yeah, catch us in London.
Exactly. Did a little bit of work on BB8. Needed to do some work on him. He had a couple motors that were out of whack. So working on him is a bit of a trick. It's like, remember those old ship in a bottle things where you'd like build the ship inside of a glass bottle? That's like working on a BB8 that's already been put together and trying to like replace a gear on a servo or something stupid. So it was a bit of a nightmare, but he's all working, which is good because I needed him last weekend and I also need him again for this weekend. As I have mentioned several weeks in a row, I've been helping a friend with a TK. The helmet is always the worst part. And everybody gets these Novos kits and it comes with the helmet pre-built, so everybody's spoiled. But if you get a kit the old-fashioned way and it's just old parts for
I was
even
about
the helmet,
to say, how are you not done yet?
No, it's a lot of work. So so I got the helmet put together finally, and I'm real happy with the ears because again, it's hard. It's hard to do that and get those lines nice and tight. So
what kit is that?
This is a Waltz Trooper Factory kit.
Oh, okay. WTF. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've still got it. I mean, I've got the visor installed. I've got the vocoders installed and everything. I got to do the paint details around him, but otherwise it's assembled. So I'm kind of happy that that's done because I was
ear caps are a pain. I went through one set, ruined them, and then I went to Mike from Trooper Bay. He's a good dude. Went up to Poway. He messed up, and he's built like hundreds of these things. Like and so it's just one of those.
Did you see the news that Mike posted?
What was that, Steven?
Did you see the news that Mike posted on his feed?
He's got B-Sail, right?
Well, no. So the big news from Trooper Bay is that Mike is now in possession of the original screen use mold of a Stormtrooper helmet, a TIE pilot helmet, and an AT-AT driver helmet.
Oh, wow. I didn't see that. Holy cow.
And because he's got these molds that are direct, I mean, they are the mold from
lineage.
Yeah, lineage molds. He will only be selling those helmets fully built.
Nice.
So if you buy like a full kit from him and you add that helmet, the helmet comes fully built.
Oh, geez, that's a game changer for Mike. Mike is one of the nicest dudes. Like, holy cow! And he's got another business that he does, but he's been in armor for years, and MTK is kind of his brand, Trooper Bay, but MTK is what he produces.
Yeah.
But to get that, man, that's got to be. Yeah. I want to hear that story now. I'm kind of curious how he got that.
I know.
He posted it on Instagram.
Yeah. In fact,
I missed that.
I had ordered some stuff from him for this kit, so it actually.
I've been staying off social media because of all the Star Wars stuff today. So.
Same.
I missed that. I missed that.
Yeah. I'll have more to show for it on next week. Got up printing an E11 to go with all of the Stormtrooper stuff, so I'll have that for next week. And then the last thing I've got, so doing this event this weekend, and the host was like, "Oh man, you're going to be the Mandalorian. It'll be so sick to see you in the costume with Grogu in the bag and everything." And I'm thinking, I don't have Grogu or the bag,
or the
but
bag.
I didn't want to tell him that, and so yeah,
you made a bag in 5 minutes.
You made a bag. For
I did. So I got the sideshow Grogu here. So here he is looking at the camera. This is the best like face sculpts. The Hot Toys one is articulated, but the face, like the ears are separate. And, like it's just not as like this one doesn't have the articulation. Although I'm going to probably fix that at some point in the future. Here
is it season 1 Mandalorian when Mando meets Quill? I've spoken. It's like, and just watching him build like the pram, rebuild the ship, just. It's you, Raimi. That's you. Just building stuff.
So I've got the bag now. So Deborah De Mayo, she's very popular in all of the Mandalorian in the TV show Facebook groups. Makes some great leather work. Usually works very closely with JJ Industries. So she makes the pattern that she's got for this bag available for free, and so I just got the pattern. I did have to adjust it because I think her pattern was for a Grogu that was a smaller toy than this one. But it was very simple. I just made it a little bit bigger in one direction, and it fits perfectly. So
nice.
That's it for me.
I guess I'll go. I've been printing like a madman. All my printers are working well. All the printers I use are working well. So I've been printing things, and I printed this Liberator little holdout blaster that you can see if you're watching YouTube. And I'm actually giving this away separate from the helmet giveaway that Ramey's doing. I'm just doing all you got to do is go to my post on Instagram and basically follow the Dad Batch and follow the YouTube channel, and then whatever. You just read the post. So I made this blaster this week, which I'm giving away. And I also made this Din Djarin shoot, what is it called? Crap.
It's called
I don't remember the model name. Yeah, it's definitely a pew pew. Big Fred Customs, man. These are both his files, and they're really good. And he has this like simplified version that you can print for this.
IB94.
What's that?
IB94.
There it is. All right. So yeah. So I printed one. This is the first one I've ever printed and worked on. So
printed?
This is what?
Printed?
Are you joking?
I mean, it just looks like real steel.
Yeah, that's the Alumiluster. So yeah, thanks for that.
That was all resin printed, right, John?
Yeah, this is resin printed on the Jupiter. Less pieces than, because he has a model that's made for electronics, and if you're not putting electronics in it, you don't need a billion pieces. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I had some issues, but I'll probably print another one or two. I'm going to print another Liberator too, so I'm going to work on that. But yeah, I think that's all I've done workbench wise. Yeah, that's it. Printing and painting these little guys.
Yeah. I did nothing because my dad was here. But I'll tell a quick story since I should say something. I went to, there's this like biscuit place that we go to down in Charlotte. That's super good because it's the South. There's biscuits and gravy everywhere. I grew up on biscuits and gravy. So I want to take my dad to this place, and my wife, Tori, and we go there all the time. We love it. And I had my Dad Batch sweatshirt on, and the guy behind the counter was like, "Oh, Dad Batch, yeah, that's really cool. I love what you did there." And he goes, "There's like a podcast or something about that." I was like, "Oh, that's my buddies and I." And then start talking with him, and he's a Legion member here in the Carolina Garrison, and he's a shore trooper. And it was funny because this place, every time you go there, it's called Maple Street Biscuits or something. I think there's a few. It's like a small chain, but every time they have like different themes where they ask you. A lot of times they'll ask you like, "Oh, who's your favorite hero or villain?" And then when they call your order, it's whatever that is. So of course I'm always like Darth Vader. So they call Darth Vader, and then your order's up, right? And he was like, he's like, "Are you liking Andor?" And I was like, "Yeah, love it. It's awesome." And he was like, "Rogue One's my favorite movie. I have a shore trooper. It's been like, I love it. I was like so awesome to see that and see more shore troopers again." And it was just a super rad connection just from wearing my Dad Batch podcast sweatshirt. So it was super cool. So, and he said he was going to start listening. So shout out to Adrian at Maple Street Bakery down in Charlotte. Thanks for listening and being a good dude and bringing us a little sweet treat biscuit. But yeah, with my dad here, I didn't work on anything. So I've been busy. That's
awesome. We're up to 14 listeners now.
Yes. I was like, please. I didn't tell him to like and subscribe, but I was just like, oh yeah. I literally told him what we always say, that it's just, we're having a good time. It's our group chat recorded. So
yeah, basically.
Yeah.
That is the best way to describe.
That's how it started.
Yeah. He was a super nice dude. Cool. And man, when you get to come across Legion members in the wild, when you don't know, is always like a fun thing. Cause there's not a lot of us really in the grand scheme of things, and how many people there are in the world. And it's always, usually you're explaining it to people and they're going, huh.
Yeah.
And you're like, Legion member. Oh my gosh. So, That was super cool.
Did you get any swag?
So,
did you have a coin or card on him or anything like that, or no?
No, but I know where he is, so I'll bring him because thank you, Adrian, but he brought like my dad and his wife some special sweet biscuits on the house, which was super rad. So they were delicious.
Ooh, sounds delicious.
Nice.
When I got home, I started printing the Galactic Armory Death Star pumpkin, which is a cool file. And so that's on the printer, and it's cool because, you can remove all the supports and just speed up the process. And I'm not going to finish this like I do armor. I'm just going to print the thing and shove candy in it. So that's kind of fun. Yeah. I'll eventually show pictures of that. And then I'm going to wear the TK for Halloween. And so the inside of my bucket, I wanted to kind of suit up a little bit more. So I got all the electronics in there. If you can see on the camera, I got my my voice and my fans and all that other stuff. So just trying to make it nice and put some conduit to hide the wires because it can get kind of jumbled in there and messy. But I also don't want to cover up the MTK and his little signature because it's just Mike. It's cool. So I did that. Nothing really. I mean, I was traveling, so I only had a little bit of time home. But yeah. That's
light week.
Very light week.
So my wife and I started working on her armor because we got her boots and gloves that came in. And shout out to Giovanni at Crow Props. He sent me, let me see if I can grab it here. It's a prototype for some new wrecker boots that I designed with him.
Whoa.
So with the wrecker kit, I mean, I don't think there's anyone out there who's physically wrecker's size and has his
costume.
I think like 20-inch calves. I mean, you are cool. More power to you. I don't think most people have that. So one of the biggest problems for me in the costume was that if I start walking, the calves, just no matter how much foam I put in there, they start slipping down. And we were actually at the Hollywood parade last year, and one of them slipped into my boot and then started cutting my ankle.
Oof.
So yeah, that was bad news. So what I did was I thought about it and I designed tall boots for clones. And you can see it if you're on the YouTube, but it's essentially just, it's a clone boot, but it comes all the way up to right below my knee. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach straps here, Velcro straps on the sides of the boot. And that's going to attach to the calf armor itself.
Nice.
So it's going to be fully suspended in air where it should always be. I think I'll be able to run in these and I should be good.
Good call.
So I got these from Gio.
Nice.
Gio also sent my wife's boots and gloves for her costume.
Awesome.
We were gonna go to this party that on Saturday. We were gonna go to this party that Ramey's a part of that he mentioned earlier. And that was gonna be my wife's first time suiting up. And we decided not to go for just various personal reasons, but I was like super bummed because I was thinking like, this is it sucks because it's your first time that you were going to suit up and we invested so much in this costume and I'm just going on and on like pity party. And then she says, well, it's okay. Like my first time dressing up, I'll just be on a regular troop with you. And when she said that, I was like, oh, that just made it like 100 times better. Because, we dress up for Halloween and stuff. We all do, but to like sweet. Dress up for a troop, that's way more points. So yeah. So we're still building it. It's pretty much ready. But we'll take her submission photos.
Does she normally wrangle for you, Steven, at troops? She
has in the past.
Okay.
I mean, she's been living the life kind of like what Joy does for us when she's not in costume. She plays the good wife part.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's even done like, when we were at Celebration and the 6 of us with Levi were up on the up on the Death Star wall. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. She was totally like wrangling the
people taking photos with us. Yeah.
Taking photos and all that stuff. So she knows the drill. Yeah.
That's cool.
Other than that, that's all that we've built. We did my son's trunk or treat at his school, and there was somebody there that had a Ghostbusters set up, and I was just like, man, I wish I wore my Ghostbusters costume right now. Mm-hmm. And then another thing too was like, so the school told they told all the families, like, you know, have your kids dress up, but parents can't. And so I was bummed out. What? Yeah.
Lame.
But then I show up there and there's like at least a dozen parents that are like fully dressed up. And I was like, man, come on.
They conveniently didn't get the memo.
Yeah. Anyway. But other than that, I think that's all that we have going on this week. I'm just so looking forward to finishing my wife's costume, trooping with her.
That's
like
cool.
It's got me very excited to get back into costume for that. So
I know we talked about it last week about wearing costumes together as a family, but there was another memory after we signed off that I thought of, and it was basically what you were saying in school. There was not a competition, but they had a little parade at the elementary school for the kids to walk around in their costumes, and the boys wanted to do something with me. I'm like, well, there's 3 of us. What do we do? And so we just bought some black sweats and some fake gold chains and some brim hats, and we started playing Run DMC. We basically became Run DMC, and the boys got into it. They're like, they're just trying to like memorize the raps and stuff. It was such a fun time. But yeah, you just forget those memories until we have these conversations, and then
and then you see photos, and then it all just comes flooding back.
It comes flooding back, dude.
Okay, so I got to ask you because let's see, Joe and Brian. I don't know, maybe John. I don't think so. But you guys you've trooped with your wives, right? Well, Brian,
a lot of troops, I know. Tori. Yeah.
But like, what is it like? Is it like, what is it like?
So Kim's not officially approved yet, but we did celebration together. So that was the first time. I mean, you all saw us for the first time doing, trooping together. It was fun. But Brian's got all the experience, I think, probably mostly.
It was really gratifying. I mean, as soon as I joined the Legion, and Tori was always like wrangling, and she was like, I want a costume. I want to do this too. And then we were just doing stuff all the time. I'd say the only part where it got challenging was when Levi was small. It's just like you're both suited up. You can't see anything. No pun intended. And then, you have a kid that you got to worry about. But
I know a lot of times that would be the case, and she would just be hanging out with Aaron and our kids.
Yeah, there was that. But I mean, there was like, there was a lot of times where she learned from your kids too, where it's like they figured out how to. I mean, we always joke that your kids, Levi, some of the other kids, Nick's kids, other kids, Scott's kids, and Legion. It's like they're better troopers than adults sometimes.
Oh no, hands down.
Yeah,
they're
like,
professional. They're professionals.
They wore hot Jawa kids like all day and would never complain, stay out of trouble, whatever. But I mean, she learned how to hang on and stay with us. But I did. Tori and I got to do CHOC, Children's Hospital of Orange County. Was always like a very difficult but very gratifying troop back when we were in Southern California. And there was a time where they always usually wanted Darth Vader, and Tori was signed up for it. She was going to do it. And then someone dropped out and they needed a Vader. So I was able to slip in there and kind of relieve to make sure they had a Vader. And it was awesome. It was like probably one of the best troops that we had together, just to, as parents, to help out kids that were in need and down on their luck and going through a hard time. So, yeah, it's always awesome. I'm stoked for you. I'm stoked for Georgina that she's going to get in there. So it's hard when you have little kids too. And usually the mom's kind of handling little kids while you're doing the thing. and it's awesome to switch it around there and
I think
share,
we're going to do
share
the whole.
the enjoyment.
I think we're going to go for the babysitter route so that we don't have to do that. But
yeah.
John, doesn't your wife have a costume?
She did. Yeah. Yeah, she did. She's been with me at troops before, and we've taken the kid too. But her and I have never trooped together at an event. You know, and we haven't. And she's been to cons with me too, and she's watched me walk around, but she hasn't. She's just kind of not. You know.
Yeah. No, I totally get it.
Just not too down. Yeah. And plus, we have Amy now. I'm gonna get Amy into it. We'll get her going.
Oh,
eventually.
Of course.
Yeah.
Jawa.
But yeah.
Yep. Jawa.
What's that?
We're being hailed. This encryption's new. This might take a while.
Okay, so last week I had put out the call for some help because I had seen an article that talked about how the episodes of Andor, the Aldani arc of Andor, had overlapped with the Rebels specifically. So, and the article disappeared. I couldn't find it. So I was asking on the show if anybody had seen it. So Instagram and listener of the show, Emily Noel 25. So Emily hit me up on Instagram and she said that she had seen the same article. I wasn't going crazy, but she turned me on to something that was even cooler. So let me pull this up. So there was a post that was put out, or a thread that so Scout the Trooper on Twitter is talking about how the visual parallels between the first episodes of Rebels and what we're seeing in Andor, with the Star Destroyer arriving right after Yularen gives his speech, and so then that changes kind of the game and the way that the Empire is going out and facing any kind of insurgencies that they find. So that we see Star Destroyers arriving over cities, just like, the very intro thing that you see on Rebels is a Star Destroyer parking over the main city on Lothal. And so there's this whole thread that talks about how you can see that the characters and the way that they're acting in Rebels it very much parallels what you would expect to see happening in the immediate aftermath of Yularen's speech saying, hey, go out there and start clamping down. So it was very, very interesting. So I do think that we're going to see more of this with threads that we can pull from Andor and show how that overlaps with Rebels. I hope we even see something as far as like an overlap of characters to some degree. So that would be cool.
Awesome. That would be rad.
So speaking of characters from Rebels, so there is a rumor going around that Iman Esfandi, who is the actor that's purportedly playing Ezra Bridger in the Ahsoka show, has signed to do to be a lead in his own Star Wars Disney Plus show. So if that turns out to be true, we may be getting an Ezra specific spinoff.
Whoa!
So, and I don't know if that would be something that would be like a prequel to the Ahsoka show or something separate. So more to find out there.
Right, like his travels or something, like what he went through with Thrawn.
Yeah, I would love to see the backstory there. Like, just imagine like a Thrawn and Ezra backstory
show up somewhere. Yeah, they just
so
show
that
up
we
on a
can
planet.
see like what happened from the time that they disappeared at the end of Rebels to
like a buddy cop series.
Yeah,
I'd
exactly.
be down for that.
That'd be cool, but can we get some movies? Jeez, it's enough of the shows already.
Stay tuned in a few minutes. I'm getting there.
All right.
So today is the day for Tales of the Jedi. So all 6 episodes are out. Again, 3 on Ahsoka, 3 on Count Dooku. Little bit of news that I've got there. Bryce Dallas Howard had tweeted out that she is the voice of Yaddle. So we see a Yaddle in the show, and Bryce Dallas Howard is the voice. So it's very cool. Star Wars Celebration news. We got the key art released this week for what we'll be seeing at the show. So it's a very colorful skyline that you see, like black silhouettes of the London skyline in the front. A very rainbow colored background with a Death Star and then an assortment of ships kind of flying down. I've seen a lot of like negative press about this artwork because it's very derivative of things that we've seen like Etsy shops and things like that. Like there's a lot of fan made art that is very much like this, and people are like, "Oh, Disney just stole my art." I can see that. I looked at what they were like. It is not a literal cut and paste. It is at least unique artwork, but there's definitely some parallels.
It looks like a scene from. It looks like the scene from the Rise of Skywalker. That's what. That's how I looked at it. It was like all the ships. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, the artists are borrowing from Star Wars to make their art.
So
right. I guess
to make money.
Disney's legal department would probably ask the question of whether or not that art was authentic or not. So, or licensed rather.
Licensed, right?
The reality is this artwork is very, very much something that you would expect to see, like these silhouettes of the vehicles, and it's on T-shirts. They've been doing it for years, so this isn't anything new.
Right.
But we would expect to see like badge art. We would expect to see badge art and T-shirts and merch that will have this key art on it. So this seems to set the visual stage for that.
I mean, it's almost like saying the Dad Batch logo is unique in itself.
And you know what? We should do the Dad Batch logo, but have the Union Jack behind it for special edition shirts in London. What do you think?
Dun 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 dun.
All right.
Dun dun dun.
All right, folks, you heard it here first. So we can make that happen.
We've got
Right?
some London
enough.
exclusive stuff coming.
Oh,
very soon.
Did I? Yeah. Okay. My bad.
I've got my own list of ideas for that too. So we'll do it all.
All right.
Disney or Shop Disney revealed a set of you can do. There's a Count Dooku. I don't know if it's a set actually. So Count Dooku and Qui-Gon Jinn lightsabers. All I see here is like a CGI rendering, but they look beautiful. And this is definitely not Dooku's Sith saber, but it's very similar. So, but there are some visual differences. So
Still curves.
Still curved. It has the little talon that comes out from it, and
Just wait. Oh, that's okay.
Yeah,
his saber's cool.
Okay. Getting into some like Disney or Lucasfilm organizational news. So first up, so Michelle, I'm gonna not do her last name right. Rejwan, Michelle Rejwan. She stepped down as senior vice president at Lucasfilm, and she's returned basically to the producer seat. She's continuing to work for Lucasfilm and Disney. Her name is still attached to several projects. In fact, she's worked on in her previous title, she's worked on Kenobi, Andor, and Willow. In the new role, she's going to continue to work on upcoming Andor and Willow stuff, as well as Taika Waititi's Star Wars film. So, so that's still something that's in the hopper. I don't actually have any news on that other than that she'll be attached to that. So she's just still doing kind of that same stuff.
I know that she's been pretty much touted as Kathleen Kennedy's protege. So it's interesting to see that she's stepping down in a role. I mean, obviously it's not that huge of a step down, but it's not necessarily moving up in the role that she would, I guess, take over. Because it's been rumored that she was going to take over KK's role.
Maybe
what
she didn't.
What I find is that people that are particularly good at things like that, they are very willing to do whatever needs to be done. And so like she might walk in on a weekly basis to Kathleen's office and be like, where do you need me this week? And maybe right now where they need her is in this different role. So that's entirely possible. And I mean, you find that a lot with people that are particularly good in the roles that they do. So.
Well, I hope she's good at putting out movies because like Brian was saying, they need some movies in there.
Yeah,
it's time.
So
it's time.
Speaking of that, so I think this has been out there for a little while, so that we knew that Damon Lindelof was attached to a Star Wars movie, but we're starting to get a little bit of details about that. So they've got a writer's room set up. word on the street is that Dave Filoni is part of that writer's room in that process. And they have said that this film will be set after The Rise of Skywalker, but they are getting away from the kind of trilogy concept. So not to be expecting us to get like 3 movie sets like we've been in the past.
Cool.
But we will get something that's post Rise of Skywalker if this turns out to be true.
I would love that.
I'd be happy if they followed the Rogue One format, give us a really good movie, and then give us a really good series that expands the movie.
A good movie based off of one line. Right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Like, you know, everyone, I mean, I've been guilty of it too, just like posting all the hashtag make Solo 2 happen stuff. And there's always the make Solo 2 happen day where everyone puts it out. But I think at this point, just from what I've seen with the different Disney Plus shows, I don't want a Solo 2 movie. I want a Solo 2 show. I mean, go ahead, put Alden Ehrenreich in there and Chewie and just give us like the Han Solo adventures. Give me like 4 seasons of that, you know?
Well, movies are limited, right? You can only say so much in a 2-hour. It's limited.
Movies are good though. Come on.
Movies are good, but if you could watch these shows in a theater, you know?
Okay, so how about the compromise is what they did with Clone Wars? There's a movie to kick everything off, followed by
and then
a
there's
series.
a TV show. Yeah.
I'll take it.
That's kind of what Steven's saying, yeah.
Exactly what I just said.
Some balance would be good. We're getting a little skewed on the shows. You know what I mean?
So the first 40 years of movies weren't enough.
Okay, it wasn't 40 years of movies. It was 5-year spans spread across 40 years.
Are you not pleased? Is this not enough?
No,
not entertained.
So, but they also have not ruled out the possibility that some of the sequel saga characters could appear in this new film too. So,
Babu Frick.
I mean, who else could it be?
Finn story.
Okay, and so then the last little bit of news also on films and stuff. So word on the street is that Disney has sort of quietly told Kathleen Kennedy to stop announcing films until they are a little more concrete. So I wouldn't expect to see, because if you think about it, we've seen quite a pattern of films getting announced that have then since been put on the back burner. So, we know that the Rogue Squadron film, the pilot film, that one seems to be on the back burner for the time being.
It's such a bummer too, because what is her name? The director?
Patty Jenkins.
Patty
Jenkins. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, when they showed that little trailer they made up of her on the skates with the
roller skating, yeah.
But she was telling the story of her dad and how I was just like, oh, like
there was passion behind it.
Yeah, she's got the passion, the emotional attachment to it. I mean, that would have been a great movie.
A pilot story like Top Gun. Come on.
Yeah, imagine that.
Yeah, well, and we also know that Rian Johnson's name's been attached to a whole trilogy of films, but we haven't heard anything about that in ages. So who knows if that's even still a thing or not. But so they're trying to get a little more conservative about announcing some of these projects. That way they can, when they announce something, they know that it's basically set in stone and going to happen.
Cool.
So, all right. And so our last little bit of news is not Star Wars related, but should be interesting to anyone that's interested in the content that we talk about. So the DC universe is kind of changing the folks at the top. So James Gunn and Peter Safran are now set up to lead the DC film, TV, and animation division. So I'm sure I know Steven's got some stuff to add to this. So I'm sure that this is going to be interesting for anybody that's a DC fan. And I do think it's not a coincidence that Henry Cavill also kind of at the same day confirmed that he was returning as Superman too. So I think we're starting to see kind of this. I mean, maybe they're not going to say it like this because they don't want to copy Marvel, but this is going to be the next phase of DC, and maybe this is going to be the one that works.
Yeah, so Warner Brothers Discovery, they've been shopping this around in Hollywood for quite some time, since the beginning of summer. And there was always the rumor I from what I've read, their first choice was James Gunn, and they kind of shopped it around to other individuals. But it was always rumored because, you can't just keep seeing James Gunn at the lot, right? Like, you can't just keep seeing him there if he's not actively working on a film. So there was always this rumor that, James Gunn's working on a top secret movie. And that was kind of his excuse for all these meetings that he was having with Warner Brothers Discovery. And there was even a super solid rumor, like leading up to San Diego Comic-Con, that even Henry Cavill was in the building to be announced as Superman. But obviously that never happened.
Poor planning.
And they just kept pushing it off and pushing it off and pushing it off. And obviously, I mean, it's not a spoiler alert because it's all over social media.
Yeah, he posted it.
They used Black Adam to reintroduce Henry Cavill as Superman, and then Henry Cavill waited till Monday morning to announce it, that he's back officially, which is a little like weird because he said it, he announced it, but there's still no official movie on slate. So
sounds about right for DC.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's just, there was a photo of The Rock and Henry Cavill like drinking together in his backyard. I think
Terramana tequila.
Yeah. I think like a year ago. So they've been working on this for a while.
Yeah.
But I'm just happy that they're bringing everyone back. Now, the rumor that I've heard is that, and this is just a rumor, is that even though Cavill's back, Ben Affleck is not back. He's coming back for the Aquaman movie, but the DC universe's primary Batman is still going to be Michael Keaton. So they're going to have an old Michael Keaton with Henry Cavill's Superman, and then the Justice League that we know of. And then they're also going to switch out. Thank goodness they're going to switch out Ezra Miller from being the Flash.
What?
So, that guy's gone. But he's kind of gone off the rails in real life.
They're just going to completely wipe him out from the movie at the end.
Oh wow!
So he's still going to have his Flash movie. They're still going to release it, and then they're going to bring in Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Oh, they're gonna They're gonna swap him.
They're just going to swap him with a new actor at the very end, but he still is like
Barry Allen.
His mind is still the Flash,
right?
So, which is a good way to write him out, I think.
I didn't know he was having issues.
On top of DC having weak characters.
Ezra Miller, you didn't know?
Weak management.
Oh, dude. I won't go into it. I won't go into it here, but just Google it real quick, man.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
And that brings us to the end of the news.
Why did you make me do this?
I guess you have a choice. You want a war? Or do you want to just give me a gun?
My father, he go toilet on my hands.
Oh my God.
Urine is 35 degrees Celsius. Staves off the frostbite.
How is this relevant?
You know, fathers.
All right. Another week of Hunter's Hard Drive. This week, since we're being all spooky, we're talking about Werewolf by Night, which premiered not that long ago on Disney Plus. I didn't really know what to expect myself. I wasn't very familiar with the werewolf character from Marvel and Man-Thing. Also, they're older characters. I wasn't familiar with it, but I was pleasantly surprised at the show. The 1 hour episode or whatever it was. Very cool twist on some classic, horror. But I'd like to hear what you all have to say about it. So, Joe, why don't we start with you?
It's the same thing. I didn't know what to expect, and it's pleasing that it's in black and white. I mean, to your point, it has that classic feel, and even like with the era, the period time when those movies kind of came out. I don't know what period of time you would consider that, but it's kind of, gosh, not gothic, but you know what I mean. It's like haunted mansion kind of. I don't know. It just had that really good feel. Really enjoyed the storytelling, and the monsters were pretty awesome. You already said, we were talking about this before, but Ted, the monster, you don't know what to expect. You think it's going to be this gruesome thing because on the walls are all these pretty gruesome and grotesque monsters.
Right.
But then you see Ted, and Ted has this very aggressive, but then all of a sudden charming and almost childlike behavior that you get to see. So it's really, really cool to see that. And there's a lot of blood too. I mean, you don't see it because it's black and white, but there's some blood splatter.
It was gorier than I expected, for sure, for being a Disney thing.
For being Disney, yeah. I enjoyed it.
Right on. Thank you for that. Echo, what did you think? Did you have a chance to watch it?
I didn't. I'm sorry.
All right, then we'll get back to you at some point in time. Steven, let's hear it. What would you think?
Absolutely loved it. I've been anticipating this. I guess they call it a special presentation.
Okay.
I've been anticipating it for a while. I had no idea that it was going to include Man-Thing, which was a pleasant surprise for me. I was actually,
man,
I was more interested in the fact that this was directed by Michael Giacchino, because up until this point we've only ever heard his music.
Yeah.
I mean, in everything, right? He made the Marvel sound.
Interesting.
Here.
Yeah.
But I know that he's directed a short. I think he's only directed one other thing, which was like a short film. Gosh, I watched it a few years ago. It was starring Patton Oswalt. It was like Patton Oswalt, and he was in Japan. Like, you know how like American actors go to Japan to do like commercials and crazy TV shows and all that. It was like that, and he was like getting paid $500 to be like a Godzilla dress up thing. It's funny. I'll look it up. I'll look up what it's called. You guys gotta watch it. It's only like 10 minutes.
Do we know the story of how he got connected into directing versus the music scene? Because that's a huge departure almost.
Well, I mean, he's done so much for Disney as far as composing goes. He did Rogue One. He did Spider-Man. I think he's done all the Spider-Man.
His list is massive.
You know the music that you hear when the Marvel logo comes up? Like, that's him.
Rad.
I mean, he's done a lot. So I guess just through attrition, he's
osmosis.
Like, he's just like, I want to direct too, and I think he did a fantastic job with this. You like you were saying earlier, Tech, the black and white feel to it. I loved it. How it just conveyed like the old timiness of everything. But then how at the end, when Elsa finally gets the stone, and then it just starts to fade into color.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very Wizard of Oz.
Which is like, and didn't they play the song?
Yeah, I think
they did.
Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
They did.
So
that's
like,
how it ended. Yeah.
I mean, is this just like an overt, like, slap in the face to the viewers that I feel like, okay, so when we were watching Loki, Kang was essentially the wizard, right? Like,
right.
He was the man behind the curtain. I mean, for goodness sake, he was in a green castle or a green mansion, which is like the Emerald City, right? So, and then so we've got that. We've got Over the Rainbow, and then fading into color with this show. And then what was it that I just saw? The Ant-Man trailer.
Yeah.
When they released the Ant-Man trailer, it's Elton John singing Yellow Brick Road. So I'm like, where is this all leading? I don't know.
Wizard of Oz reboot.
But it's the same thing. The Kang in the quantum realm is also like the wizard in Wizard of Oz.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm almost wondering if what we saw in the show, like being black and white and then fading into color, is almost not for us to see as a viewer, but I wonder if that happened in universe. Like, what was that movie where the whole movie was black and white and then it was starring Tobey Maguire?
Oh no.
And then like as he fell in love or something, like the movie started changing into color. Oh, this was like 20 years ago that movie came out. But the characters in the movie had never experienced color until this young couple fell in love, and then like the color started bleeding into their world. I'm wondering if that's what's happening in this world. So like for all we know, we might not have been watching MCU 616. Perhaps this was like another multiverse that all this happened, and it's bleeding in. I don't know. I've got a lot of theories, but I loved it. It was great. I'm hoping they make a Man-Thing movie or show. I know they've tried it in the past, but I like their approach.
Something I need to go back and watch, but if I remember, some of the shots too were very reminiscent of the old black and white horror films, like monster films, Dracula, Frankenstein, whatever, where not only is it black and white, but there's a close-up shot. It's usually like from a lower angle with a white light coming up to produce a shadow in the upper part of the head. And it just gives us kind of, you know, when we were kids and we put a flashlight under our chin to tell stories, it's like that same kind of feel. It had that. What I appreciate is there's probably a whole generation of young people that are getting introduced to this style of visuals. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, like, the dad was in the casket and he was like, it reminded me of the Crypt Keeper. Like, remember the Crypt Keeper? Tales of the Crypt?
Yeah. Tales of the Crypt.
Same feel.
Oh, right on. Thank you, Steven.
So, Steven, sorry, 2014's The Giver had that same thing in it where as the couple starts to get closer and closer together, they can see, like they start seeing in color.
That's the movie, yeah.
It's black and white, and you start to see it as they're starting to see it. So by the end of it, it's all in color.
Nice.
Because when we saw Dr. Crosshair's favorite movie, Doctor Strange, when they're going through the different multiverses, I think there was one multiverse that was black and white.
I wonder if Wanda had a hand in that. Because some
was in WandaVision.
WandaVision was black and white. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And there was hints of color.
Right. All right on. Brian, tell me what you thought about it.
I can't see it.
So tell me what you heard.
I haven't watched TV in 5 days. I haven't seen Andor. I haven't seen Tales of the Jedi. No, I haven't seen it.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your input. And that is all Hunter's hard drive this week. 3 out of 5, I assume, are keeping it, and the other 2 should probably catch up and watch.
We will.
Eventually.
I passed the assignment, John. I passed the assignment.
You absolutely did. Thank you for your effort, Joe.
Yay.
I had family here, man. And I've gone blind. I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
For your information, the stinger of a Yalvik queen is a delicacy on some planets.
So we're going to start a tradition, basically the podcast before Halloween will be some question that's related to the holiday, right? I mean, and so the question that we're going to discuss that we hope to kind of hear a little bit more about each guy that's on this podcast is, what is the movie that scared you the most when you were a younger you? What movie got your blood boiling?
I'll go first since I had nothing to input on John's section. Friday the 13th. Freddy Krueger. He scared the hell out of me. And I've never really been into horror movies or anything. And I think that was one of the ones that I watched and I was like, I don't like this. I don't really like disturbing things. That one freaked me out. So I'd also bonus throw in Hellraiser too, but I don't think I ever even really watched that movie. So I just saw enough of it to where I didn't want to watch it. But
did you ever watch
the 13th?
Did you ever watch that when you were a little bit older and realize the humor that's tied with like whether it's a pun or some sort of joke? There's a lot of puns, right?
There's a lot of silly,
silliness that goes with it.
I know there is, but I want to say, like, you know, I caught glimpses of these movies when I was of age when they came out, when I was really young, and then a little bit later I'd watch it, and I just somewhere in my like late 20s, I realized I just didn't like horror movies at all. Like, I just found them disturbing, and I just didn't really like watching like disturbing things. So I'm like that now too. I just don't anything disturbing. I just don't like watching. So made up, fake, and I know it's all fake, but there's some
it's real
horrible stuff that they make movies of. I mean, there's enough horrible stuff in real life, but yeah, I don't know.
I'm kind of in the same camp, Crosshair.
Yeah,
I was going to say the same thing. I was going to piggyback. Friday the 13th, when I was young, it scared the crap out of me.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to go to sleep. I thought Freddy was going to be in my dreams and take me. I think Halloween and Jason, the Jason movies, didn't really do much for me. Freddy Krueger. And like Brian also said, Hellraiser. I don't think I watched it as a kid, but I remember someone was watching it once, and I came into the room and was just like, like, what is this? Which was just, it's totally disturbing.
Wait a second. Isn't Friday the 13th Jason?
Yes. No, Friday the 13th was Freddy. That's Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare on Elm Street is Freddy Krueger.
Sorry. Yeah. I messed that whole thing up.
Everyone's yelling at their... All the listeners are yelling
Someone is unsubscribing right now. Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Okay, so Nightmare on Elm Street scared the crap out of me.
Down at 12.
Same. Nightmare on Elm Street.
And so Friday the 13th.
Same path, John.
And the other one didn't do much. And Jaws, for some reason, scared the crap out of me.
Because that's kind of, it's kind of,
it's like, that could happen more so than like a guy coming in your dreams and trying to kill you.
Yeah.
But
I'll tell you what, horror movies now are just insane. So
well, they're all like gory and like
so
shock
bad.
value.
So bad.
All that being said, I do like horror movies and suspenseful stuff and stuff like that.
I'm glad I can't see them.
Even.
Oh man. I mean, obviously I think Freddy was a big one, but I think if I had to
Nightmare on Elm Street. Just making sure.
If I had to drill it down, I would say it's Chucky for me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I could not walk into a Toys R Us and go in the doll aisle without like running away. And I think that probably messed me up in the head till I was about a teenager. Where I could just not like dolls, man. I think that's like a clinical thing, being afraid of dolls, having a phobia of dolls, but I don't know if I had that or if it was Chucky itself. And there was always this one scene in one of the Chucky movies where like he takes a knife to like some kid's Achilles heel from under the bed.
Yeah.
I could not put my feet down by the bed for years.
It makes my skin crawls just hearing you tell it. I know exactly the scene you're talking about. So.
But it's gotten to the point now where like you were saying, Tech, as an adult, I know like everything now just, it makes sense. You know, I know it's
you
fake.
got a grip on reality. Yeah.
There's even a Chucky TV series now that like they just make fun of how silly it is. But yeah, man, that stuff messes with your head when you're a kid.
Yeah. It's all generational too, right? Just like, we have that. We can look back on it and be like, I'm sure there's
ridiculous. Kids nowadays that are just like totally freaked out from Vecna or the Demogorgon or whatever, you know.
Yeah. We're like,
but to us, it's like, ooh.
That's not a monster.
That's not really horror. I mean, dude, some of these movies, I'm not even going to name them off because they're so just horrible. I don't know why people would make them. People like it.
There's a market for it.
I guess.
So, Stephen, if you didn't like Chucky, you would not have wanted to have gone with me to pick up the mannequins that we got for the costumes at Celebration, because let me tell you, that place was a house of horrors. Like I'm literally like I'm texting Nick. I'm like, dude, I would like pull my camera up and like take a picture and I'd send it to him and be like, this place is crazy. So there was like mannequins with missing eyes and like where their eyes were drilled out. Like, I don't know if they put like, it was bad. It was bad. Like one, they were like, just the nose was missing and that was it. It's like, oh.
That's just so weird looking.
But it's like hundreds and hundreds of them. And there was like a whole wall of just heads, just nothing but heads. Some of them were painted. Some of them weren't. You guys are going to laugh at me for mine, but I'll tell the story. So, okay. My brothers are both quite a bit older than I am. So my closest brother was a senior in high school when I was born. And then my older brother was even older than that. And so like they were the ones that would take me to movies when I was like, not my parents, but my brothers were the ones that would take me. So they never really took me to anything that was particularly scary. But the one that kept me up at night for like months, and you're going to laugh at me, but it was E.T. Now,
it's creepy.
I was 7 years old when E.T. came out, so the listeners can do the math to figure that out. Imagine 7 years old, like the scene where he's like sick and like laying on the bathroom floor, and the mom comes in and like sees them, and she pulls the kids away, and he's like screaming and crying for them and stuff like that scene. Like,
or when the hazmat suit guys come and take that.
Yeah,
you know
so I was into I was into astronauts and stuff, so that part didn't work because I just thought they were astronauts coming, because they literally showed up in astronaut suits at first, right? So I'm like, cool, NASA's here to take care of the alien. But man, like when he was like sick and dying, like that just like burned itself into my memory. I literally slept on the foot of my parents' bed for a month after that movie came out, because I just could not be in my room.
That was traumatizing. Yeah, I remember being freaked out by that too. That was. Not
it wasn't a horror movie, but it had some creepy.
But it was horrific.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's those scenes that come up as a surprise, right? Like when you haven't even seen E.T., right? He's just kind of rustling through the tall grass because he's just making sounds, and all of a sudden he just lurches out of the grass, and it's that shock factor of like, oh my gosh, and then you're seeing this creature for the first time. Yeah. I think we all kind of remember watching that.
Yeah, I saw a couple kids. Actually, not a couple. I saw one kid that was completely scared and freaked out and crying at Celebration because of how real Grogu looked. So I could totally understand that.
Yeah. That's
Joe?
Grogu's there, E.T.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at Grogu. How can you be scared of that? Oh my! I mean,
it's an alien.
Bite your head off, man.
It's a frog baby.
Is that the one? That's the 1-to-1 ratio, right?
Yeah, it's full scale.
Full scale. Oh, so cute.
Joe, was your answer?
Dude, my answer's messed up, man. I was a latchkey kid, so just kind of, basically the home was empty when you get home, and there's a VHS, VCR. Oh, what's this? Exorcist. Let me check this out. Pop in The Exorcist.
Yep.
Yeah, that one's
holy.
That's freaky.
You can watch that. You can watch that as an adult.
It's still disturbing.
And you realize there's so much disturbing stuff. But
very.
Yeah, I didn't sleep for a long, long time after that.
Yeah,
like a long time. I couldn't get some good rest.
Yeah. Were you the one that
was
a
movie? I don't think I watched incomplete either.
I
don't think I ever watched the whole thing.
It's so dark.
It's like you were saying earlier, like it's disturbing. Right? It's one thing when it's so unbelievably unrealistic that like there's no way this could be real. So like but then when it's like, that one's disturbing.
It's like some movies are they're supposed to be fun, right? It's supposed to be entertainment, but that movie like was way beyond. It was not fun. But I remember watching it, and like I just like it's like watching. They say the phrase "watching a train wreck." You can't take your eyes away from it. You just like, it's just shock value, right?
Yeah.
But
do you guys remember the most? Do you guys remember the most scared you've been in a theater where you thought like it was real, like it was happening? So for me it was I'm sorry, Tech, to like ask another question, but for me it was what was that movie where like they were
Weekend at Bernie's?
Yeah.
That's scary.
No, it was like one of those like video like found footage movies, like Blair Witch
Like
style.
Blair Witch?
Like the Blair Witch.
No, but it wasn't Blair Witch.
That was freaky.
It was
That
the one where
ending was
like
kinda freaky.
Emily was
The
the
ending
husband
was-
and wife was recording like, in San
Paranormal
Diego.
Activity.
Paranormal Activity.
Oh.
Dude, that was super freaky.
Yeah, that's pretty freaky.
When
Yeah,
when
all
all
of
the
those
cabinets flew open in the kitchen, I jumped up and I had to leave I left the theater because I was like, I can't handle this. It's too
peed a
scary.
little- you peed a little,
Imagine
didn't you?
Your heart rate, like just.
I jumped up and I yelled so loud that I had to apologize to the lady next to me in the theater, and I was so embarrassed that I had to just I left.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
amazing, dude.
Well, those movies
so
are terrifying. 100%.
No, thank you. I'm good on all that.
You got to watch Paranormal Activity, Brian.
Nope.
It's a hoot.
Nope.
Nope. Decided.
I think I saw a screenshot of some. I'm not even want to say it. It's so bad. Movies are horrible. I don't know why they make that crap. It's so bad. I don't even want to say it. Move along.
All right.
I'm glad I can't see it. John's on his like 5th fishing lure helmet. He just keeps switching them out.
Okay, so let's switch it up and make it a little bit lighter, for the sake of just making it lighter. This is actually a question that's left over from one of our listeners, K_Blackie_. This is a good question. This is not Halloween related, obviously, because this came back from a couple weeks ago, but it's a good one. Which Star Wars time frame would you want to be in?
Depends who I'm working for. I don't know.
Like what era?
Yeah, like what period?
Yeah.
What era?
Depends. If you're high up in the Empire, you probably like the Empire era, or if you're in the Republic era,
So how about a character in the main or in the background or whatever? I mean, because that was also the follow-on question. But
a character.
Is there an era or period?
I think the question's pretty. I mean, yeah. Which era would you want to be in? I'd say the sequels.
With the First Order,
with the Resistance and the First Order and all that. Yeah.
You want to be on Hosnian Prime?
I just think it looked cool. It was like, I don't know. I thought the visuals and everything of that time period were cool. At first I wanted to say, oh, well, yeah, during the Clone Wars and everything was grand and imperial. Or not imperial, but like, a different time.
It's a huge war. Yeah.
A more civilized era, right? Or whatever Obi-Wan says. But I just, maybe just because we haven't had any expansion on the sequels and we've had lots of expansion of the OT time period and of the Clone Wars time period.
But I don't think that's the question, Brian.
No.
No?
And
what's the area you want to be in?
And
the actual,
it's called Star Wars.
Planet?
Is there ever
when would you want to be
when
like a citizen in the galaxy? Like when?
Oh. Now I got to rethink it.
Is there ever a time in any Star Wars movie? I know it's called Star Wars, but is there ever a time that they're not at war? Like I'd like to live in that era.
Yeah. So theoretically, prior to Episode 1,
the Republic were for like 1,000 years, just kind of.
Yeah.
No. Well, no.
That's what I would say too.
I want to live on Kashyyyk with the Wookiees. There you go.
That's
my answer.
That's very nice.
It's green. It's just
Andor with
hugs
the
all the
Ewoks?
time. Just Wookiee hugs.
Warm hugs.
Just big, warm, furry hugs. It's beautiful.
Smell like pee.
It's lots of trees.
Like wet dogs.
Maybe.
Wet Dog City.
Hey, maybe they smell like eucalyptus. Maybe those trees are all eucalyptus. They have a nice, fragrant smell. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. I got to take this helmet off. I'm dying.
smells like pee.
Yeah, maybe
it's like hugging a
maybe
bear, dude.
maybe you've just been in the helmet too long.
Dude, I can't see anything right now. My eyes are bugged out.
It's all bright.
Han Solo out of carbonite.
I do. I feel like the. Oh
yeah.
Okay, big guy.
Yeah.
All right. Next.
That's all I got.
Man, I don't know.
I'm the only one
What
answering
era?
that question. No one else is going to answer it.
It's such a difficult question because you're right.
I think John and I answered it.
Every time that you've seen Star Wars, they're at war. So
I mean, it's called Star Wars, so it makes sense. But there has to be a time of peace. That's
well, then, like I'm thinking right now too, like John, you mentioned like the Empire when they're at their highest. You figured you'd be safe just being a citizen, but not from what we're seeing in Andor.
I mean,
it's like,
but if you it depends. If you're pro Empire and you live in a system that's pro Empire, then it might be okay. If you're it's like living here. Maybe like you just have to follow the rules and don't break the laws and this and that. And not saying it's great, but you could live a peaceful life under Empire rule if you're just kind of staying in line, and not robbing and killing people. I guess just depends.
I think when I started listening to is it Master and Apprentice, Qui-Gon and this Ben Kenobi, just the story of them, like that period right before things started unraveling. So there's already obviously Sidious is moving and positioning himself and getting ready to really go into the prequels, but that period right before is just I mean, maybe it's just the way that the story's told in that book. Yeah, it's you could tell it's like a tipping point where things are about to start deteriorating. That was just kind of cool. I don't really have a particular place though, but that era, that period, it probably just sticks out for me.
Come on over to Kashyyyk, places we want to live.
You can pick a place if you want.
I'd go to
Kashyyyk,
Nar
man,
Shaddaa.
up in the trees.
Where?
Hanging out.
Nar Shaddaa. It's like a Blade Runner city, essentially. It's like neon and scoundrels and bars and nightlife.
Yeah.
I think I answered this question before because on a different pod because Mike asked me, but I'll go back to saying Naboo because
Naboo's pretty.
Yeah, it's like because I would. What did I say?
It's like Italy.
I would be a Bith playing my gigs for the Naboo citizens, and then party with the Gungans at night.
I was gonna say, what about the Gungans?
Yeah,
because they're down underwater.
Because you get Boss Naz in there. Like I want to party with that guy.
I think the uniqueness of that question is the time period too. Right?
Yeah,
it's like picking where you want to live that. But I think I like the question of like, where would you choose to live?
Where?
Because Mike always asks that on Armor Party show.
Yeah.
Scarif, dude.
It's the beach.
Tropical island.
So Scarif
it gets blown up, doesn't it?
Obviously, well, after it's blown up, I'd like to live there. Yes,
he wants to live in. You want to live in Scarif Lego. Like what is it? The Lego Vacation Scarif.
Yeah,
they're all on the beach.
Yeah, palm trees.
Yeah,
crystal blue
Made out of
water,
Lego.
sand. Come on, in a shore trooper outfit, just tanning yourself.
I'm trying to think about location.
All right, maybe, do you have another question? Maybe we should move on. We're getting stuck in this one.
We can move on. We're done.
Oh, there's no more questions.
That's it.
That's all I got.
Oh.
Steven.
Steven's like, dang, I wanted more questions.
I like them. I like answering the questions, but okay.
That's all I got.
Raimi, I think we had some follow-up stuff to some business to go over.
We do. We kind of buried it in the show so that everybody would have to listen the whole time. So we have done our our hard hat, or we've got our hard hat giveaway. So we're ready. We've got our names.
Let's go.
We've got them loaded up into a random name picker here. I appreciate everybody's participation. There was a lot of response. So
do this live.
So how are we going to show it? Can we show it somehow?
I mean, the
We're gonna have to
website.
take Ramey's word for it.
Yeah, the website that I'm using is not particularly pretty or anything. I mean, it's just we're just going to
take a photo, and then you can.
Oh,
Post
how many?
it
Live
stories.
stream it. Live
How
stream
many?
it. Or just take
How many people?
like record it and then
A
post
video.
it.
Just do a video, yeah. Then you can post it in our stories.
How many entries did we have?
There were 24.
Dang,
Ooh,
we have
good
24
odds.
followers now? 24 subscriptions?
Apparently.
24
Yeah,
people
we
that
We lost a few though when we didn't
bothered
know
to enter.
Nightmare on Elm Street. So
Yeah, we're back down to 13.
We'll probably lose half of them after the giveaway's done. They'll be like, "Oh, giveaway's over. Unsubscribe."
I got mine.
All right, so you want me to video this? Okay, great. All right, so I've got the list of names in here. I've got everybody listed there. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to hit the button, and I'm going to pick again. I was testing it. All right, so the name that we've got here is Matthew Harrell. Matthew Harrell. So if you are listening, you need to reach out and contact me on Instagram, and I will get your information. And
Congrats.
Congratulations, Matt.
Our first giveaway.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
That's awesome.
So Matthew
I don't
Harrell, like I said, contact me on Instagram, and I will get your address, and I'll get this helmet on its way to you.
And you will be one of, I mean, I haven't really seen
The
too many
first.
people post
The first.
them that they're out there. So
Now
those are some
you've
cool
got to
things.
build the whole costume.
Yes.
So,
Those
and
are the
so, Ramey,
requirements.
just to ask you, what percentage are you printing the new one at so it fits comfortably over your head? What scale?
So I'm only adjusting it in one direction.
Oh, you're only going wide.
I'm only widening it out. The rest of it was
Okay.
good. I liked where it landed everywhere else. I just wanted to widen it out so that it wasn't hitting my ears. So
Okay.
I think it was like 12% more or something like that, if I remember right. I have to go
Whoa.
look.
Okay.
That's a
Okay.
lot.
That is a
Yeah.
lot.
Well, I was looking. It's like the one on the show. It's not
It's-
even like it's not hugging his face very tight. It's on there fairly loose. So I
Cool.
went and the one that I have is it like pinches my ears. So I needed to go up a bit.
Okay, cool. Just to have in mind.
Rad. Our first giveaway. Woohoo.
Nice.
Congratulations, Matthew.
Yeah.
Nice. And John's is up.
And now we're back
Yeah,
down to 14
Are you giving
subscribers.
yours away right now, John?
Mine's no. Mine's gonna be. I mean, I guess.
No, 2 weeks.
You have to do it on your
2
post or
weeks.
something.
I'll give it another
some
week.
time.
I mean, just do 1 week, yeah, because people are impatient. They're gonna forget. So let's do just in a week. Next episode, we'll do mine.
Pew, pew, pew.
If that's cool. Yeah, it's a cool one.
Pew,
My
pew,
wife is like,
pew.
"Oh, we should hang this up." I'm like, "Really? You like it?" I'm like, "Well," she's like,
Winning.
don't give it away." I'm like, "I'll give it away," and then because she's like, "Oh, this would look cool, like on the wall." I'm like, "Really? All right,
You're all right, whatever.
yeah." So I'm gonna make another one eventually, but
That's cool.
yeah, she was down.
Steven's looking around.
He's
He's like, what can I
I
give
don't know.
away?
I was just like, can I give away something? I feel left out here.
You can think about it. We got some time.
Well,
Maybe if we can.
We should do one once a month, a giveaway.
We
Gotta
need
like
different
stuff you
levels
make
of
or
followers.
something.
Look, listen, if we get different, let's hit different. Let's set goals for different subscriber levels, and we'll start doing those. I'll make
You
a
know
little
what?
thermal
Here,
detonator.
I'll do a quick little giveaway. I will give away.
What's your legs here?
Hello, Amy.
I will give away 5 crosshair with pink boots stickers
Oh no!
and 5
Nobody
Dad
wants
Batch
those.
stickers. And all you
Everybody
have to do,
wants
so
those.
that's 10 winners, okay? 5 of these and 5 of these.
That sounds
10
pretty
winners.
good.
I'll do 5 winners so you get both stickers. How's that?
Oh my goodness!
All you have to
Sorry
do
about that.
is just post your own picture on Instagram So you got to post your own picture on Instagram of your Halloween costume.
I like it.
And put the hashtag weekly workbench and tag us Dad Batch Pod. That's it. And I'll choose 5 people and I'll mail you these stickers. How's that?
That's kind of cool. I like that.
Look at that.
Sounds good. I'm gonna get into that.
Limited edition.
You're not qualified to win. You're like disqualified.
I have a stack anyway. I got a bunch of stickers.
Oh God.
Yeah, I got
John's
some.
for
We're
sure
good.
entering it. He's like, here I am.
I need some
I have
more.
all these chrome
How do I get
things
more
to
stickers
post.
without buying them?
Chrome stickers.
What is that called?
This is a sticker.
But what
Shiny
is that
chrome
called?
stickers.
We need
Sabers.
Dad Batch, but we need Chrome Dad Batch stickers.
Yes.
This needs to be.
Yeah.
That can be done.
Yeah, I'm down.
There we go.
Cool. Anybody else want to give away something?
Yeah, I got some
I'm gonna
ideas.
wait.
I have some tech glasses that people can bound in. If there's anybody that are tech fans,
That's a big one. We need to hold on to that one.
I'm holding
Hold on to
out,
that
dude.
one.
We need bigger subscriber levels. Come on, you know what I mean? Like, let's get like 50,
Well-
and then maybe.
I think if we could run that one at any time, right? So we got that.
I'll make someone a thermal detonator. Give one of those away. I can't reach it without bonking my microphone.
We can run long ones too.
You can give them the one that has the LED bouncer.
Yeah, here. Let me get this one. Here you
The
go.
Maraca.
And you get
The
to
Maraca.
got to put a toothpick in there
feel
too.
so bad about that.
Dude, what if one day I'm going to be shaking it and it's just going to come out and be like, oh my gosh. There's no way it's coming out, but
There's a chance.
saying there's a chance.
No, I got that. Also some patches. Yeah, got ideas.
All right, guys. Well, you heard it here. Follow us if you want to win some free stuff. But I think that does it for today. If you like what we do, give us a good review on your podcast app. Be sure to tag us on Instagram at DadBatchPod. Remember, hashtag weekly workbench. You can follow me at Stevie Kicks on Instagram, sometimes on Twitter. Echo, where can people find you?
TheDadBatch.com.
Nice. Joe, where can people find you?
Tech.badbatch.
John, where can people find you?
Alpha Ignition.
And Brian.
Being a lawyer ain't easy.
You got like 15 accounts now that people have to follow.
Yep.
Right on. All right, guys. Thank you again for listening to episode 13 of the Dad Batch podcast. Be sure to tune in next week for episode 14 and have a happy and safe Halloween. Until next time, enjoy your spice.